Issues like inflation and not being able to get key legislation passed are making this a tough year for President Biden. Results from a New York Times poll seem to reflect that, too. 64% of Democrats surveyed told the Times they would prefer someone other than President Biden be the party's nominee in 2024. With so many voters wondering about an alternative, there are Democrats trying to offer up new ideas. One place is in Wisconsin, where Democrats are focused on ousting election denier Senator Ron Johnson. An argument is even being made about changing the entire way politics works in America. Here's some of Wisconsin's recent Senate debate.
The political industrial complex is much more interested in your dollar than it's interested in your human rights. And that's why I'm running to change the system here. You have to talk about money, the primary system, and other issues if you're going to talk about how you build that consensus. I strongly believe that if you're not talking about changing the system, you're wasting people's time.
I'm joined now by the man you just saw. Steven Olikara is a Democratic U.S. Senate candidate in Wisconsin. He's also founder of the Millennial Action Project. Steven, welcome. You say our current political system is not producing good results for anyone. Why is that? And how do you propose to change it?
Well, Michael, great to see you, and thanks for having me on. Members of Congress today are literally not doing their jobs, and I saw this firsthand during my time as the founder and CEO of Millennial Action Project, organizing young members of Congress to get things done. And the real truth is that members of Congress spend a majority of their time fundraising out of the office across the street. Meanwhile, you've got lobbyists running into their offices, handing over legislative text. And that is why the system is so broken. I'm running on a platform to get big money out of politics because I believe that you need to incentivize members of Congress to work for us and not their big money special interests. So when you think about issues like Roe or climate change or gun violence prevention, you wonder why hasn't more happened? Even when there is major public consensus on those issues, these deeper systemic reasons are the answer. And that's why we're running to take on those root issues.
You got some really good reviews for your debate performance, but you're not one of the top Democratic frontrunners at the moment. Do you think your message will still resonate with voters? Will it cut through?
Absolutely. The analysis from last night's U.S. Senate debate is that we did win this debate. It was the first and only televised debate, so it was our opportunity to get our message out to a much wider array of people. And I think what really seemed to stand out to people is that on every single issue, I was able to tie it back to the system, ending the system of legalized bribery. And I think that's very crucial. Now, there's one thing I did not get to last night in the debate that I want to announce right here on your show, Michael, which is when we talk about exciting young people to come out to vote this November, what is that going to take? I believe it is ending the system of legalized bribery. And that's why I'm excited to announce right here, right now on your show, Michael, that I will not be voting for Chuck Schumer to be the next Democratic leader unless he commits to ending the legalized bribery system. Stop charging money to get on committees, and let's change the Senate rules so that lobbyists cannot fund members of Congress directly. That's what's going to get young people excited, and already has happened here in Wisconsin.
Well, so you're already shaking up the system. And one of the things that you propose is something that we've heard kicked around quite a bit lately, and that's nonpartisan open primaries with ranked choice voting, something that I'm very interested in as well. You and I have worked on this in the past. Can you explain what it is, and how do you think it will help our democracy in the main?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm the only candidate in this race, Democrat or Republican, to be calling for this proposal, open primaries and ranked choice voting, because this is at the root of why there isn't real competition in politics. We have roughly 9% of voters who are electing 90% of Congress. And as a result, there's no accountability. I mean, for all of your viewers who are tuning in, how many of you have seen a member of Congress who seems totally checked out? They're not hosting public meetings, and they only toe the party line because their North Star is self-preservation as opposed to making an impact. By opening up primaries, first of all, you have real competition in the primary election, so you're not choosing between the lesser of two evils. And then you have 5 candidates who move on to the general election, and then you can rank them in order. And what that really does is shift the focus to the general election when you have a lot more people voting as opposed to the primary election. So take on an issue like Roe. I believe we need to codify Roe v. Wade, and we heard other candidates say that. But just saying it is not enough. You need to also say what you're going to do differently to allow more Republican senators, for example, to reach across the aisle and reflect the existing consensus on this issue.
Well, all the best to you, Stephen Olikara. Thank you so much for joining us.